Picture this. You need to buy something online and it's asking for a bunch of information from you. As you are being forced to sell your life and soul away to some mega corporation, you get stumped on the last question. Your phone number. You live in Canada, but the country code is automatically set to the States. Granted, you're fairly certain they're the same number, but you don't want to mess this up. As you open that long list of numbers, you're met with the horrifying sight of all of the world's countries completely out of order. You are forced to scroll through all of them. As you quickly scroll to the end, you're confused by the fact that you don't think you saw Canada. Alright, let's try for round 2, but a little slower this time. In the end, you don't find Canada, but in exchange for selling your information, you are granted a sliver of mercy from capitalism. Because, no, there is no Canada on the list. But on it you find the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. North Korea. I don't even know what I felt in that moment, but I know there was a lot of anger over the fact that Canada wasn't there, but the Hermit Kingdom was? So here's a short little peek into the cellular world of North Korea. Not at all a topic I thought I would ever consider, but now feel obligated to. You would figure that North Korea would be pretty behind on stuff, and, well, they definitely are, but also are doing a lot better than I thought they would be. As with the rest of the world, landlines were the thing for a while, which is what I expected. And what I also expected, it was very limited. Most people who own a landline are government officials, with it being a whole rigmarole to even get one. You practically have to beg the government for one, so most citizens just go without. There's very little info on this, and for good reason, because somehow North Korea just sorta skipped the landline phase. People went straight to cell phones, which were introduced at the end of 2002, with thousands of people buying them. But there was a ban on cell phones from 2004 to 2008 because of a whole thing. There was a huge explosion at a train station, Ryangchon, in May 2004, which by itself is But this happened a few hours after Kim Jong-il passed through, so it turned into this whole conspiracy of an assassination attempt. It was speculated that it was set off by a phone, so bye-bye cell phones, it was fun while it lasted. Funny enough, the network and everything still work, just civilians were banned from using it and had all their cell phones taken away. The ban was lifted in 2008, where they did a whole 180. North Korea eventually started launching their own cell phones. More like brazenly ripped the homework out of someone else's hands and passed it off as their own, but still counts. They have quite a few brands available, but my fave is the Arirang. Kim Jong-un himself went to the factory and was hyping it up so much as a North Korean born and bred phone, but it seems weirdly similar to an already existing Chinese phone. As time went on and more homework had to be done, North Korea cleaned up their act a little. The newer phones aren't just Chinese phones redone to look more North Korean, so props to that. Now they're just rip-offs of Samsung. Another phone is the Jindal series. Starts off with Jindal 3. What happened to the previous ones? Who knows? Forget about them and live in the moment. We worked our way up to the Jindal 7 in 2020, with no mention of a Jindal 4. There's also the Kiltongmu phone, which is apparently just a Samsung Note 8. I got a good laugh at one of the sources because it was like, oh, how horrible. North Koreans can't decide what comes pre-installed on their phones. And my billion apps that take up a ridiculous amount of storage that I can't delete says it's not confined to North Korea. But then they follow it up by saying they have like 30 dictionaries pre-installed. So like, okay, I guess I see where that journalist is coming from. The whole reason I even got into this mess. I don't make any international calls, so it never clicked for me, but you have both area codes and country codes. And don't ask me what I thought the +1 meant. I've already dug a grave to throw that shame into. North Korea's country code is +850, with 27 different known area codes. There's also a varying length of how many digits each actual phone number is, ranging from 3 to 13. I don't live there, but my every domestic number is 10 digits long but demands some better standardization here. And just to be extra, in Pyongyang there are numbers that only work internationally, as in they don't work within North Korea except for calling the same type of numbers. These have the code 381, and if they want to be used domestically with regular North Korean numbers, it's instead 382. Who in the world uses that sort of system? Well, apparently there are embassies in North Korea. So organizations like embassies have two different numbers, one international and one domestic. I should take a little pause here to say that most of the system is automated, but international calls require you to go through an operator. So you cannot just call North Korea. So obviously, don't go and call North Korea. You'll just end up at an operator because you can't just go and call North Korea. Don't call North Korea! Okay, now that my warning is out of the way, let's get some examples. Let's say we're something dumb, like an embassy in North Korea. Our international number could look like this, with country code, area code, international code, and then the actual number. And our domestic number would look like this, with the area code, domestic code, and actual number. This is where the fun, juicy drama comes in. The OG cell network was Sunnet, which debuted in November 2002 and only existed really in Pyongyang and Raison. This bad boy came at a hefty price of 750 euros purely to sign up, let alone actually use it. Despite this, it was pretty popular and eventually gained over 20,000 users by the end of 2003. And then the ban happened in 2004. The main company in North Korea currently is called Koreolink, which started up in 2008 and is Egyptian-owned. The parent company owns 75% of it, while the North Korean government owns 25% of it. This one surely has to be a lot cheaper since they boasted 2 million subscribers by mid-2013. Koreolink has been going through it. The sad story of Koreolink is actually hilarious, it's so ridiculous. Koreolink is still kicking today, but the parent company, Orascom, lost control of it to North Korea. North Korea just straight up stole the entire company. Koreolink is widely successful, with this success being generated through North Korean money, not Egyptian money. The issue now is how to get the money out, which boils down to the exchange rate. North Korea has to be top dog here, okay? So of course, their currency is top dog and super powerful. But North Korea operates on two different currency systems. There's the government rate and the black market rate, aka the actual rate. So the government doesn't want to pay so much based on their own rate, but also doesn't want to acknowledge the actual rate. So the company is being held hostage. And then on top of this, despite basically owning the company at this point, North Korea made their own cell network to compete. I don't know why, if their plan was to keep all the cash anyways. I don't know what the end goal is here. It seems Orascom is holding out hope to get something, because in 2018 they got an exemption from the UN to be allowed to continue working there. There's some other companies, but not much is known about them, because how can it be a North Korea video if you know all the information? Anyways, I hope I stop getting indirectly disrespected by Americans. At least I assume that's who designed the website that led me to this mess. Ciao!